Oh, I'm done. Oh.
Hi!
Good evening.
Finally, about time.
Well, some of us had to work today. Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. This is going to be an interesting video because I'm doing a travel vlog. I'm here with Pocket Rockets in the driving seat, and because he has somehow managed to convince me to go all the way from Land's End to John O Groats. Now,
No, mate, I gave you the opportunity.
Initially, I told him to f off, but then he threatened to tell Patsy, my wife, how much I've spent on my Leon Cupra, and then I said, of course I'll come with you, Chris. What time would you like me? So yes, here we are. We are currently in Worthing, which is where I'm based. So yeah, we're gonna grab some dinner because it's early evening. We need to charge the car as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't know what car we're in. Yeah. That might be an idea. Because you saw the headlights and that's about it. So we are in, if I turn you around, oh, look at this big tablet. Tesla, yeah, exactly. I think Elon Musk has got something to say about this. Yes, we are in the brand new Ford Mustang Mach E. So yes, the idea is we're gonna go from Land's End to John O Groats to see how we do, and yeah, whether we lose the will to live, really. Aha! So you join, where are we? Exeter?
Yes, Exeter, mate.
Yeah, so we're just in Exeter. Gonna grab some dinner because we are freaking starving. So we're also gonna charge the Mach E whilst we're here. So Chris is faffing about getting it charged.
It's like extracting a tooth.
Any time today, son. You know, it's not as if we're hungry. Right, so we have arrived. The hotel said, yeah, we do have charging for electric cars. Because we've got golf carts. Yeah, because golf carts and a Mustang Mach E are the same thing. I think, oh no, Chris has got the charging port open. So yeah, I think he's gone to investigate whether those ports are compatible. I'm pretty sure they're not. What's the verdict?
I think there's another cable.
Oh!
If you could give us a hand, mate.
Yeah, hang on. Unsurprisingly, these ports were no good, so we had to settle for a 3-pin socket instead. So we have arrived at our overnight stay in Cornwall, well, in St Just, I think. Are we St Just?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in Cornwall, no idea where. So yes, this is our humble abode for the evening. Chris insisted on double beds, but I said no, I'm happily married, you're not my type, so just I nipped that in the bud right there. You can definitely tell there's a difference in class between the two of us, because Chris has got a nice Louis Vuitton bag and I've got a bloody big ugly IKEA bag which looks like I've nicked it from a homeless person. Yeah, one of us has got too much money. It's not me, I know that much. Gonna get as much rest as we possibly can before tomorrow's shenanigans. Gonna be up bright and early. Well, early, don't know if it's gonna be bright. And then see what mayhem is installed. So yes, good night. Thankfully, the charging point at Land's End was not in use, therefore was available for us to use. It did take quite some time to get the car charged, but at least we had some classic cars to admire whilst we waited.
It turns out these cars were part of a classic car rally, which incidentally were also going from Land's End to John O Groats, albeit over a longer time frame. After the battery was fully charged, which by the way took over 2 hours, it was finally time to hit the road, with Chris doing the honours of driving the first stint. Good morning guys, you join us somewhere on the outskirts of Penzance. We are now on our very long voyage to John O Groats. This morning hasn't quite gone to plan. The car took a while to charge. It was freezing, it was cold, it was windy, it was wet. Yeah, we had a road closure which has kind of mucked us up a bit because we've had to take a bit of a diversion. I think we are back on the right route now, but as soon as we started, the first kind of major road we got to closed. Brilliant, that's just what we want. So yeah, so at present we've got the old sat nav on the go, of course, this massive touchscreen which is no way inspired by Tesla whatsoever. Current time, oh there goes our coats in the back, current time of arrival is 10:29, which you may think, oh that's not too bad Aaron, but no, that doesn't allow for charging, so yeah, that is a bit grim. Now this car in theory should give us 379 miles of range. However, in Chris's experience, well in our experience I should say, so we've got 97% on the battery, and as you can hopefully see, our range is 243, which is you
can use that as well to calculate how much we've done, mileage we've done.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've done 17, just under 18 miles. So yeah, a fair way short of Ford's claimed 379. Yes, it is a cold day today, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's excessively cold to the point where you think, okay, it's going to be an issue with the battery. Yeah, so today is going to be interesting. I'm sure there's many other words that we can use right now, but I'm going to stick with interesting. Aha! So you join me, because Chris has run off to the toilet, at Gloucester Services, where we have hit a bit of a problem, and this is a real world problem with electric cars. So you've got 3 CCS chargers here, which is the faster chargers, which is what we want because we want faster charging, because well it's faster clearly, and they're all in use. So if I pan you around, we've got an MG ZS EV just there, which is being charged, and you've got a Jaguar I-Pace there also on charge, and the other CCS charger is not working, it's out of order. So yeah, this is one of the problems with electric vehicles. I've had a few EV owners say to me, oh well, did you know there's more charging ports in the UK than there are petrol stations? That's probably true, but how many of those are privately owned? How many of those are on private grounds, i.e. companies for employees to use? So I think those numbers can be a little bit skewed, and yeah, this is a prime example. It's not very often you get to a petrol pump and they're all being used, and if it are being used, it's a 5-10 minute wait, maybe a bit longer if some numpty goes in there, does their weekly shop at the same time. But with an EV, for example, that MG ZS EV, okay, I think that might be going any moment because that's on 85%. But yeah, this is a real world problem. Anyway, go back to Chris's channel for their proper EV stuff. This is more meant to be a travel vlog, but I just want to document the kind of, I suppose, the trials and tribulations of living with an EV. Yes, this could delay us, which is not ideal. Now this is a good idea. I personally don't think the infrastructure for EV charging is particularly good in the UK, and this guy has found a gap in the market. So let's say you turn up to the services and all the bays are full up, you're number 7 in the queue and you're just waiting. You can ring this bloke and he'll come out and charge you. Now you may look at it and go, diesel, dirty, but it's biodiesel, and it is the kind of cleanest way of doing it. and before you say, oh, his Land Rover probably runs on standard diesel, no, that's also biodiesel as well. So yeah, basically, this isn't an ad, I just think it's a clever idea. You buy into a membership like you would with the AA or the RAC, and if you get stuck in a situation like this Nissan Leaf, for example, where she would have to otherwise wait, you give him a ring, he'll come out and he'll charge a battery. So yeah, that guy is a genius. Although I got chatting with him, he has put a lot of money to make this happen. He said the best part of 100 grand to get this business on the road, quite literally. Right, so where are we now? Let's have a look at Google Maps. So we are there. Just zoom out to get a bit of perspective, a bit of context. So we are somewhere, so we're not near Morecambe. So we've gone past Blackpool, gone past Preston and Blackburn, and we've still got, so not quite Lake District, not quite the North Pennines, so still got a fair bit to go. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, so this will be charge number 3. I'm losing track. So yeah, we charged at Land's End to obviously get us going. Stopped off at Gloucester. That was, well, technically this is charge number, it depends, well, I suppose it depends how you want to count it. But well, I suppose this is charge 3 of the day, but it's just their second charge on the journey. That's the best way of. Oh, I have a ghostly figure at the window. So yeah, so it's not actually being quite as arduous as you may have imagined. It does help that me and Chris are taking turns. I've just finished my stint, which was fairly stress-free. Weather conditions were quite poor. That did slow us down a little bit, but I suppose it kind of helped in some respects because if you're going slower, you're preserving the range a little bit. You're not using as much of the battery capacity, of course. So yeah, so still a fair way to go. Chris, your thoughts so far?
Very tired, mate.
Oh, we're not done yet. We are.
Losing my brain cells.
We're not. Well, you can't lose something you never had. To be fair. Well, you walked into that one. Yeah. So yeah, so Chris has had his comfort break. I'm gonna go and have mine, and yeah, catch up with you guys in a bit. Chris, I found you a car you can fit in.
Yeah.
Got you.
Better than that Mach E as well.
There you go. Look. New sports car.
It's actually a pretty sick colour, isn't it?
Suits you. Yeah. It brings out your eyes. Very nice. This charging stop turned out to be a waste of time as the Ecotricity charger was a complete dud. Hello, the time now is 11:40 PM, obviously, because as you can see, it's pitch black. Yeah, the last few hours haven't been that fun. I haven't really been able to document much, mostly because I've kind of been driving or helping Chris. But yeah, we arrived at one charging point, which was an Ecotricity one. It should have been a fast charger, put on to charge. It looked to be charging at a very slow rate. I think in fact it was saying something along the lines of 330 volts, so you know, not that much more than what you'd get from a 3-pin socket at home. And so I do hope the audio is okay, by the way. I haven't got my clip and microphone on at the moment because I'm doing something else on my phone. So we thought, okay, let's go and grab some food and maybe it will speed up
and kind of catch up with a bit of time. So we had our dinner, went out, bearing in mind when we put it on charge it was on 11% I think, went out and it was on 17%. Yeah, it was charging at an extremely slow rate. We then found another charging point around the corner that turned out to be, well, from what research we did, you had to be a member of some club in order to use the charging ports, and we're not. So thankfully I was able to limp the car here, you know, doing 40 miles per hour on the M74, whichever it is. Not fun, a very tense drive, and yeah. Head over to Chris's channel for more of the EV stuff. I know I've covered quite a lot of the EV stuff in my video. This is more, this was meant to be more of a travel vlog, but it's also been more of a diary of how things have occurred, and it's not gone well, in all honesty. We now have a bit of a panic because from this point onwards, the next charging points we want to use look to be part of the same membership scheme that the other one was, which we can't use. So it may be a case of that from this point onwards we can't charge the car, and that's bad news because we will need to. We won't have enough charge to get to our destination. Speaking of battery and you know, capacity, ironically the battery on my camera is on its way out, so yeah, I'm gonna change batteries and catch up with you in a bit. I'll probably be on the side of some motorway in the hard shoulder crying myself to sleep, but hopefully it won't come to that. Fingers crossed. I'm back again because things seem to have taken quite an interesting and perhaps unexpected turn. Now, Chris had been gone for quite some time, but a few moments ago I saw him emerge from the services and he has gone into the Days Inn kind of like hotel, B&B, whatever you want to call it. There we are, just in there. And he's still in there. He's actually been in there for quite some time. Now, I may have put 2 and 2 together and got 15,001, but I think he's come to the conclusion that perhaps this was as much as I love his ambition, I think it's just a challenge a bit too far. So my theory is that we're gonna, unfortunately, scrap the challenge, stay overnight here, and then that way it's not going to be too much of a drive down tomorrow. So it'd be interesting to see what he says. He's coming my way, so I'm going to put my camera down and see what's occurring.
He did indeed come to the conclusion that the rest of the drive didn't look to be viable, so we checked into another hotel nearby to rest for the night. Oh, I'm done. Oh. So then, not quite the way how I was expecting this video to end. You joined me at 1 AM in a Hampton by Hilton, hashtag no ad, somewhere, where are we? I think we're near Motherwell, don't quote me, it's been a long day. So following on from the last section of this video, yes, I was right, Chris indeed had taken the executive decision and thrown in the towel. One thing I want to say is, you know, I want to say big respect to Chris for even having the balls to take on a journey as monumental as this. It took a lot of planning. He put a fair bit of money towards it as well, so I'm sure he's disappointed about how it's ended. But he's basically done what he thought was right. We was in a position where it was looking a bit dicey, a bit risky as to whether we would reach John O Groats. And there was also the fact of reaching the hotel he had booked and paid for very, very late, and I'm talking early morning. We looked to be on course to arrive there, I think about 5 a.m, which isn't very practical, bearing in mind I need to get back Sunday evening, just to help the missus out with childcare with our daughter. So I've got commitments I need to get back to. So yes, Chris made the decision to call it a day, but I think I was mentally kind of with him. I know this was designed to be more of a travel vlog. It's turned out to be more of an EV diary, I suppose. I need to draw up some kind of conclusion, which is difficult when I've been on the road pretty much all day, and like I say, it is 1 a.m, so yeah, my brain is quite frazzled. Maybe I should sleep on it, I don't know. I think it's better to do it whilst it's fresh in my mind. No, you know what, I'm borderline coherent, so I'm going to get a bit of shut-eye, and I will hopefully have some form of conclusion when I arise. So, good night. Good morning. The time now is about 6:50, so it's early, not bright, still pitch black outside because it's winter in the UK, which is fantastic. Not. I suppose I should really conclude or try to make some sense of what has happened over the last 24 hours. I think it's safe to say the car has let us down. Sorry, Ford UK, but we need to be honest. The car should have a range of 379, and when we charged it to full, I think it had a range of around 250, 260. Now, yes, I get it is colder at the moment, but I wouldn't expect the range to tumble by so much. We're talking like 120 miles here. That's a large deficit. 120 to 130, so that is a lot of range to lose from the get-go. The other challenge is that when using a 150 kilowatt charger, to get from 10% to 80% should take 45 minutes. Now granted, not all of the chargers we were using yesterday were 150 kilowatt, but I think the majority of them, if unless I'm mistaken, I'll have to speak to Chris, were 120 kilowatts, not a massive difference. However, pretty much every charge we did yesterday was at least an hour and a half. So when you're bearing in mind that it's a double jeopardy, because we can't go as far on each charge as we would like to or hope to. Then when we get into the charging point, it's taking double the time that it should do to charge. So when you put those two factors against you, those are two massive Achilles heels. I'm convinced there has to be something wrong with that particular car Ford has supplied. I can't think of anything else. It got to a point where I even queried whether it was the extended range model, but we looked into it. We did a vehicle check, and it definitely is. I am gutted for Chris that we didn't make it. Do I think that he bottled it? No, I think he made a judgment call, and one that was right, personally. because the further you go into Scotland, well, the areas where we were going into Scotland, the more and more few and far between the charging points becoming. And when you bear in mind that you do arrive at some charging points and they're not working or they're in use. For example, we turned up at an Ecotricity one yesterday, and it should have been a fast charger. Yeah, it was charging at the rate that isn't too dissimilar from a 3-pin socket. So, and that's a problem with the infrastructure in the UK. I personally don't think it's good enough to fully depend on. At least with the petrol or diesel car, well, some EV owners watching this might shoot me down, but however, I can't think of a scenario where I've had to cancel the rest of the journey because I've thought, oh no, I can't get petrol or diesel. Yes, I know recently we had the petrol gate, let's call it, fuel gate, where there was a shortage of HGV drivers. There wasn't a shortage of petrol or diesel, by the way, but because people panicked, all of a sudden there was a shortage of petrol and diesel. So it was a man-made problem because there was never going to be a shortage of petrol or diesel, but because everyone panicked, there was a shortage of petrol and diesel. So, granted, what we did was an extreme test, literally going from one end of the country to the other. Well, obviously going from the bottom of England to the top of Scotland. But at the same time, it has somewhat proved that EV cars still aren't at a point where they can replace petrol or diesel cars. I am gutted for Chris because this took a lot of planning, and it took a lot of balls for him to do this. This was really out of his comfort zone, and he unfortunately he's had to put a lot of money into it as well, because as much as charging a car is cheaper than filling it up, because of the amount of times we've had to stop and charge, and each time we've stopped and charged, we've bought like food or coffees and so forth, and obviously booked hotels. It has turned out to be a bit of an expensive exercise, and the bad thing is that if we did it in Chris's BMW 335D, I think he was saying, yeah, no, that would make sense. I think he was saying that he could do the whole trip and stop for diesel once, and that'd be a 5-10 minute stop. So I know I'm kind of going on a bit. Then this is a conclusion. It should be quite short and to the point. But I'm trying to summarise what's happened, and there's a lot to summarise. So you need to bear with me. If you're bored, then just turn off. I'm not forcing you to stay here. The way I see it is, it isn't progress. It's not moving us forward. If this is the future of motoring, and again, I get what we've done is an extreme test. How often do people go from Land's End to John O Groats? I get that, I really do. But my point is, I don't think we're at a point where EV cars can properly replace ICE cars, because the infrastructure is just not good enough. And okay, that our particular car let us down, but it's just not moving forward when you're just waiting around at EV stations just whilst you charge, and people say, oh yes, well, you go and have something sweet, blah blah blah. But I'm sorry, it still isn't as convenient as having a petrol or diesel car. I was saying to Chris yesterday, actually really a better way forward at this moment in time, it is, if you really must have some EV in your life, is to get a hybrid. For example, the Ford Cougar plug-in hybrid, you can drive that for up to 35 miles, on EV only. So if you're doing a lot of short journeys in town, you could probably drive it on EV all the time, because it only takes up to 3.5 hours to charge using a 7 kilowatt charger, and even if you use a 3-pin socket, it takes up to 6.5 hours. So you could easily drive it about and then charge it at home or at work. And then if you do need to do a long journey, such as Land's End, John O Groats, I know, extreme example, you've then got the 2.5 litre petrol engine to fall back on. I know it's not as green as a full EV car, but you've got so much more flexibility. And if you are doing shorter journeys, you could actually treat it as an EV, just drive it on EV all the time. I may see if I can get Chris's thoughts. As you can imagine, he's quite gutted about the whole thing. He's feeling a bit deflated for good reason. It was a very ambitious idea, which sadly just he's not been able to pull off. But you know, the car is a massive factor in that. So if I can get Chris's thoughts, I will. If not, then I'm gonna end the video here. So thank you for watching this video. I know it's probably been quite a long one. I'm at a point in my YouTube career where I'm trying to actually shorten my videos, although it is difficult because you end up having to cut out a lot of good content. You have to be, you know, ruthless. But I'm trying to make my videos a bit shorter. Yeah, if you have enjoyed it or found it useful, then be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.